At some point, you just have to give up on her, right? All the stress, the heartaches, the pain and suffering, just to get her to cooperate, just to get you home. But she never makes it easy. Now you're sitting roadside, the sun is relentless, burning through the windshield like a spotlight. It's 100 degrees out, the air is thick with heat. The hazards are blinking like a warning you've seen too many times. The engine is steaming, hissing like it's angry at you. Now you're frustrated. You got sweat clinging to your skin. The smell of hot rubber and coolant is in the air. But somehow you're still attached. It's like a toxic relationship. One that you know is not good for you, but you can't walk away from. Because you need her, and maybe she needs you too. Now, you ever love something that constantly lets you down, but you keep showing up anyway? You know, some cars just aren't cars. They're chapters, they're time machines, they're mirrors. For me, that chapter is Penelope Cruz, my 1995 BMW 318 Ti. Welcome to the Throttle Culture podcast, a space where design, history, and emotion meet horsepower. This is the space for stories, for builds and for bonds, for the people who see more than just a car. They see connection. And today's episode is about a 1995 BMW 318 Ti and the bond between myself and this car, one that has lasted for many years and continues to evolve. She was perfect for me. A bright red E36 318 Ti hatchback, 5-speed manual with the M Sport package. Now, I bought it off the original owner with only 96,000 miles. He had no idea what was wrong with it, and he kept taking it to the BMW dealership and spending hundreds on diagnostics. But it kept stalling and bogging on his commute. He seemed frustrated. Like, this isn't supposed to happen to a luxury vehicle. And I get it. These are supposed to be reliable and great cars, right? Besides, who didn't have a BMW poster hanging in their room as a kid? Anyways, we drove it around the block, and the engine kept choking up and stalling on us. After a quick pop of the hood and listening to the motor, my dad goes, "You know what? We'll take it off your hands. I'm not sure what it could be either." So I handed over $1,500 in cash, money I had saved myself. And suddenly, I owned my very first BMW. Now, I knew how to drive stick, but it had been a couple years. My dad trusted me to get it the 5 miles home. I stalled about 3 times, but thankfully there was a downhill stretch where I could just coast it in neutral, but keep the revs alive enough to drop it back into second and pray we made it home. And the second we pulled into the driveway, we popped the hood again. My dad goes, "Hand me the duct tape." He pulls off the air intake boot, wrapped it 5 times, reinstalled it, and we fire the car back up. Okay, smooth idle, no choking, no bogging. We drive it around the block. Doesn't stall. Perfect. Problem solved. Now, I didn't end up buying a new boot for about 5 years, and when I did, I went straight to the BMW parts counter, and I got it brand new for $150. Man, I felt so proud to be able to afford a part that I could easily swap myself. And so I did. Right there in the parking lot, I got out my toolbox, unscrewed the hose clamp, put that new rubber boot on, and she was ready to run another few thousand miles with me. I call her Penelope because I always thought the grill looked like the pig nose from the girl in the movie Penelope. Look it up, you might agree. And I also think Penelope Cruz is one of the greatest female actors of all time. Just kidding. But anyways, of all the BMWs I love, the E36 generation is still my favorite. You picture the 90s, this car is the 90s. The lines are smoother than the old boxy E30. It's got flush headlights, tighter bumpers, and a slimmer kidney grille. It's like BMW was growing up, but still cool. But then you've got the oddball, the 318 Ti. With a shorter wheelbase, hatchback body, and a rear end that looks like someone took a saw to it. Some people call it quirky, some call it ugly. But behind the wheel, it was light, playful, almost tossable. Really the underdog of the lineup. And honestly, I love an underdog. In the US, BMW marketed it as the entry-level 3 Series. Sticker price, just under 20 grand. It's about 5,000 less than the sedan. So who were they after? Younger buyers, really. Or people who wanted to say, yeah, I drive a BMW, but didn't want to pay the premium. Or even empty nesters, folks who still wanted something stylish but didn't need the space or a full sedan anymore. It was BMW's way of dipping into the affordable luxury lane. Worldwide, BMW built more than 370,000 of these compacts. But here in the US, fewer than 25,000 ever made it to our roads. And that scarcity is part of why this little hatchback has such a loyal following now. It's rare, it's weird, and it's got that cool mix of old E30 rear suspension with the newer E36 front chassis. It's a mashup that feels raw, connected, but fun. That's what makes people love it. So yeah, it's not the fastest, not the prettiest, definitely not the most popular. But for me, the 318 Ti is the kind of car that sneaks into your heart, the one you don't forget. And maybe that's why it's still one of my all-time favorites. And that hatchback is so good for traveling, especially when you have to carry all your shit in the back of it and make some room to sleep. It's actually quite comfy. Besides, carrying all my clothes, purses, shoes, books, everything. She also carried so many friends, animals, beach sand, bikes, car parts, and obviously memories. We drove up and down the California coast so many times, from LA to NorCal, down to San Diego, and even Mexico. Some might even remember the infamous beach ball and jump rope that my genius father engineered to prop the seat up because the recline mechanism was broken, and if you sat down, you leaned back a little too far. Anyways, the 1995 BMW 318 Ti was a unique blend of German engineering, lightweight design, and a driver-focused simplicity. It shared a lot of mechanical bits with the E30 in the rear and E36 up front. Pretty cool hybrid of the BMW DNA. Under the hood sat a 1.8-liter four-cylinder, about 138 horsepower. Nothing crazy, but when paired with the 5-speed rear-wheel drive, it was light, balanced, simple. And that's what made it fun. I used to take it down to Mexicali on those wide-open desert roads, the kind where the horizon just stretches forever. I'd wind it out, hit redline, and push for 125 per hour. Now, the 318 Ti was not built for top speed. It wasn't an M3, and it wasn't a highway bullet. But in those moments, foot down, engine screaming, that car felt alive. It was like it was in on a secret with me, that sometimes the point isn't how fast you're going, but it's how connected you feel getting there. Of course, it wasn't all glorious. That little hatchback stranded me so many times. Overheated on the way to TJ, hoses blowing, water pumps failing, AC giving up on the hottest of days. It always seemed to break down at the worst possible times, too. And there I'd be, pulled over on the side of some sun-baked road, hood up, sweat dripping, trying to figure it out. But honestly, those breakdowns became part of the story. Every failure was another lesson. Patience, problem solving, learning which tools to keep in the trunk. It was frustrating, sure, but looking back, that's what gave the car its personality. The 318 Ti wasn't just a machine for me. It was a teacher. Sometimes a stubborn one. So yeah, strange car, brilliant in its own way, a little unreliable, and a little underpowered. But when it was running right, out there on the open road, man, it reminded me exactly why we fall in love with cars in the first place. Now, when I drive it, it's not about speed. It's about soul. It's about a design that matters, a chassis that hugs the road just right, and the way a little 90s hatchback gave me something bigger than just freedom. It gave me connection to a community and confidence. Everyone has a story tied to a car, whether it's a build that brought you closer to someone, a road trip that changed your perspective, or a ride that just gets you. At Throttle Culture, we want to hear yours. If you've got a story worth sharing about the cars that shaped you or the roads you've driven, or even the moments that you'll never forget, please send it my way. Drop me a line at throttleculturemag@gmail.com and I'll feature it right here on the show. Thanks for riding with me. Until next time, stay driven.